What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and this is Battlefield 4 multiplayer details. So, the 17-minute video for Battlefield 4 got released, and frick is it amazing. If you haven't seen that, definitely watch that before you watch this video. I'm gonna basically go through, you can actually tell a lot of the changes they've made to multiplayer from this single player reveal, and I'm gonna go over them with the specific times in order of what they appear, so you don't have to be going forward in the video and then back. So I would recommend having the video opened in a second window or something if you want to look at these things for yourself, because I'm going to provide you with the times. And yeah, if you haven't seen a 17-minute thing, obviously watch it first before you watch this video. So let's go. Firstly, in the background, it's just some mediocre Battlefield gameplay on Scavenger. To be honest, I haven't played Battlefield for a really long time. I played the heck out of it when Modern Warfare 3 was out because I hated it, but I haven't played in a really long time, so, I thought some mediocre Battlefield gameplay would be better than no Battlefield gameplay. So let's go over these multiplayer changes. Firstly, at 2 minutes and 7 seconds, you can notice there's a new Hud and Mini-Map. The Mini-Map in Battlefield 3 has definitely had a blue tint to it. This Mini-Map looks a lot more just clear, and I like the new HUD. It's kind of just easily displays all the information you need in a compact way. Next, at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you can see the 3.4 times scope is back, because that's what he's using. And it's changed a little bit. It's a little easier to use. If you can remember, the 3.4 times scope in Battlefield 3 was just black lines. This one has a red center to make it a little bit easier to aim. Next, at 4 minutes and 58 seconds, you can see the side irons. And in case you don't know, side irons are a real thing used in combat right now. It's basically iron sights offset at a 45-degree angle. So if you have a high magnification scope, you can switch to your iron sights in those cases where you need to be close quarters, or if something goes wrong with your scope, you get a bullet through it, or it breaks, shatters, or runs out of batteries if you're using a holographic sight. I don't really know, but you can switch to your side irons as a backup. I'm really excited for that to be in Battlefield 4, because if you remember, Battlefield kind of just gave you all these options and said, we don't give a shit what you guys do. So, you could have assault rifles with 6 times scopes, and they were pretty much useless. No one really used them. But if I was playing hardcore on a really big map, and I had the option to use side irons and a 6 times scope, I probably would, so I could try to pick off people at really long distance with a 6 times scope. But if I needed to defend an objective or things were getting close quarters, I could just switch to my side irons. So I'm really looking forward to that being in multiplayer. I think it will be, because it's something COD has shied away from really in multiplayer. Next, at 6 minutes and 47 seconds, the shotgun secondary. Yes, he takes out a shotgun in place of where would normally be a pistol. And it's kind of a bigger deal. If you would have just taken out a shotgun, this wouldn't really be, that's kind of just a single player thing. But if you can notice, this shotgun is balanced to be a secondary. It only has 3 rounds in the clip. In a tube. It only has 3 rounds you can use. 1 in the chamber and then 2 in the tube. And so that's really basically as if it was balanced for multiplayer. Also, the spread is a little bit wider than you'd find on a lot of Battlefield shotguns. So that's really interesting. It's kind of I think that's really going to be in multiplayer. I think there will be a secondary shotgun, only 3 rounds, pump action, a little bit less accurate, a little bit more close range. But the reason I really do think it's going to be in, just because they really did balance the shotgun he brings out as if it was a secondary. If you would have brought out a normal shotgun, wouldn't have been a big deal, but he brought out an already, they were thinking, wow, how do we make this not overpowered as a secondary? And that's something you do in multiplayer. So I really think that it's going to be interesting to see that maybe some different shotguns. Maybe that's the only shotgun, but maybe we can get some variation aside from just pistols as secondaries in Battlefield 4 multiplayer, and that'll definitely be interesting. Next, at 6 minutes and 54 seconds, the 6-round grenade launcher. Now, the 6-round grenade launcher, I wanted to just bring it up because I know if I ignored it, you guys would be like, what about the 6-round grenade launcher? But the thing about the 6-round grenade launcher is I would If it was in multiplayer, I wouldn't be too surprised, and if it wasn't in multiplayer, I wouldn't be too surprised. I'm really not expecting something like this to be in multiplayer, because like a gun like this, if you think about it, guns in real life are not balanced. Gun manufacturers, when Barrett comes out with a new gun, they're not thinking, well, Bushmaster already has this gun and it's pretty good, so we gotta tone ours down a little bit so it's not better than Bushmaster's gun. Of course they don't think that. When gun manufacturers come out with a new gun, they try to make it just better. So something like a 6-round grenade launcher is designed to be just straight up better than other grenade launchers. And so it's going to be a real challenge for the Battlefield 4 development team to be able to balance it for multiplayer. And I can't really see a 6-round grenade launcher being something that I would really want in multiplayer. But again, if they did all this work to put it in the game, I wouldn't really be too surprised if they also put it in multiplayer. Even if it was potentially an engineer weapon that could, instead of having your AT4, you can have a 6-round grenade launcher just for infantry purposes. You never know. Next, at 6 minutes and 58 seconds, we get to see the new red dot sight. If you can remember from Battlefield 3, the red dot sight was a little bit obtrusive and not really that great of a sight, and you would have found most people who had the option using the Cobra sight instead of the red dot sight. You get to see on the shotgun the new style of red dot sight. It's a lot more like the Modern Warfare 2 red dot sight, just kind of a square, and definitely this is I can guarantee this will replace the Battlefield 3 style red dot sight as the new American red dot sight in Battlefield 4 multiplayer. So that's a really good thing. I really didn't like the old red dot sight. Next, at 11 minutes and 46 seconds, lens flare. Just blinding lens flare from the sun. And I wanted to bring this up because this is an engine thing, so that means it's pretty much 100% guaranteed to be in multiplayer, that if they're adding lens flares this dramatic. So I wanted to bring this up because it also goes into map design. If they make some maps around, at sunset or sunrise, as we know, it's a little bit harder to attack than defend in most cases. And so if you can give the attackers the advantage by having the sun behind the attackers, and so the defenders are looking out and they're getting all this lens flare, and it's harder for them to spot enemies, that could be kind of a map design feature that would go into certain rush maps and stuff. And so that's really an interesting aspect to look at for Battlefield 4 multiplayer. Next, at 15:51, we have the old school Battlefield 3 style grenade launcher. And this kind of goes to my point of saying that the 6-round grenade launcher is probably not going to be in the game because they still are keeping the old grenade launcher probably for assault. But again, the 6-round might be for engineer, so you never know. Lastly, at 16 minutes and 47 seconds, underwater. It kind of, I don't know whether it's just the level they took, but they really had a lot of an underwater vibe to it. Swimming out of the car at the end, and then also showing this footage where the guy is swimming underwater next to the dead soldier. And then also you have the Battlefield 3 Sea trailer, which kind of, people were saying it looked like a submarine. It kind of just looked like a boat to me, but I would not be surprised that if in Battlefield 4 multiplayer you're able to swim underwater. And again, this opens a whole new world of possibilities for multiplayer. For example, could you imagine in Karg Island where instead of just having to go from sea to the land, you could have stop off in an underwater cove or in a cove or something and been able to swim underwater and then go up into like a lagoon further inland to infiltrate the base better that way. So if you incorporate the ability to swim underwater, there's a whole bunch of new possibilities with flanking and all that stuff and staying hidden when it comes in terms of multiplayer. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good day.